Amber Vilhauer here, and on today's Fast Track video, I want to talk to you about how to build a low-level course and start monetizing quickly. So I just finished creating a relationship management operation course, and I literally just finished the final video on it, and I thought, you know what, this would be of value to our following to really see what's behind the scenes of building something like this to empower you to start creating more of these in your own business. So what the heck is relationship management anyway? Well, as you may or may not know, one of the specialties that NGNG has is book launches. We also build brands and websites and do marketing. But let's talk about book launches for a moment. There's lots of different ways that you can launch a book, but the way that we do it is by harnessing the power of relationships and creating win-win outcomes with them. Because if you launch a book, maybe you have a publisher, maybe you're just doing some research online and looking for ways to launch your book. The number one thing that people are going to tell you are to pitch your network and ask for a favor and see if they will send an email to their list and post on social. You know what I hear when I listen to that? It's very transactional. It's all about me, what I need. I need a favor. Can you do this for me? And it's like, what's in it for the other person? And, you know, the reality is that a lot of people are launching books these days. And these individuals that you might be doing outreach to, like, they have their own brands to manage and grow interest for, let alone having all of their friends constantly bombard them asking for these transactional favors. It's just ruining relationships. Well, couple things to know about me is, number one, I'm all about human connection that's genuine and meaningful and fulfilling. I also like to figure out the fastest way to do things without sacrificing quality. And I'm also really into building operations that sustainably grow a brand. You know, so basically I kind of took all these different parts of my brain and I thought, how can I rethink this idea of launching books in a way that actually helps build relationships, build profit, build meaning? And so my relationship management operation was born. And I have to tell you, after many years of running this operation for my authors, I have seen time and time again how powerful it is in a very positive way. You know, for example, one of our clients, Justin Donald, he started with no branding, no website, and he was just having this book ready to get it launched. I am so thankful for his trust and support. We helped him to create a list of people in his network, to outreach to them in a really meaningful way. Basically to say, I want to be more intentional about our relationship. I'm launching this book. Maybe you can leverage this exposure that I'm getting in support of your own vision and goals. I really want to see how we can grow together and make a win-win. If this is interesting to you, let me know. Then from there, he would introduce those relationships to me. And now many of our authors will introduce that relationship to a VA on their team, because I'm all about setting you up for success internally long-term. And from there, the VA would then find out all of the ways in which that influencer wants to support Justin's campaign, from co-hosting a webinar, inviting him on a podcast or live stream, posting on social, introducing Justin to people that they know, ordering bulk copies, inviting Justin to come in to speak on stage or virtually or in a webinar. There's lots of different ways that people can engage in a book launch to then really significantly grow that brand. We also have a process where we teach, how to send reminder emails and fulfill on whatever ways an influencer has agreed to support. And then we actually launch the book and create this win-win, and it's really powerful. So that's what relationship management is. But on the back end of that, Justin grew a $5 million brand on the back end of that year one, sold 50,000 copies of his book, again, starting from ground zero. Amy Lafko, this is somebody who had a very small client list and following right before the book launch. We instituted the relationship management operation, which was a little difficult for Amy because she had a hard time asking for help. But the whole point, and what she ended up really appreciating, was this wasn't about her. It was about her cause of bettering businesses and helping, practitioners to actually grow a sustainable brand. So when we took the spotlight off of Amy and what Amy needed and shined the light instead on the good that she was doing for these practitioners, well, then it became easier for her to ask for support. And then people responded in ways that she never could have dreamt of. And it's 7x'd her revenue in the next 6 months. So this is what relationship management is in the context of doing a book launch. We offer this during our book launch service and in my bestseller book launch blueprint program. So there are different ways that people can interact with this content. But now I'm bringing you back to the purpose of this video. I just did a complete revamp of this entire process and put it into a mini course that now we're going to sell as a standalone on its own. I'm not selling you in this video. I'm just telling you the behind the scenes of creating this course to begin with. And it started with this. I'm just going to show you my screen here. The first thing that I had to do was create a document that walked through the different steps of this operation. Okay, so I had a document, I put the overview at the top, then I went into Canva and I built a little graphic here that gave you a visual for relationship management, because a lot of people are visual learners. So when you are creating a course, try to think of the step-by-step that you want to walk somebody through, and then how can you turn that into a visual? Now, I'm going to show you here again behind the scenes. And you'll see that these are some of the graphics that the team and I were creating as we started playing with this process of developing the course. That's the one I ended up with. Here's another one that we created. Then we tried a list format. So you can see we put a lot of different thought into how could we visually display this operation that I just described to you earlier. And this is ultimately what I ended up coming up with as a way of showing my authors what they're responsible for, the first 2 steps of the process. Then what is their team responsible for, the final 3 steps of the process? And then what would it be like for an influencer experiencing this relationship management operation? And so how those 3 different people's experiences interact in this operation. So creating visuals is pretty fun. And inside of Canva, they have these different presentation templates basically that you can use so that you don't have to start from scratch. We start with this document, we create a visual. Then it's literally step by step what needs to happen. And then as you go through your different steps, for example, if I'm telling an author the first step of this process is to create the list of the people that you know in your network, then I thought, how are they going to create that list? Well, maybe what I could do is give them a spreadsheet. So then the next step is we designed this spreadsheet here. And then I even wanted to go one step further. Again, what's the author's responsibility versus the VA's responsibility, and how do people interact with this form? What types of people do they reach out to? And I realized there are 2 different sets of individuals. So then how do I have a graphic that represents the 2 different groups? Then step 2 is begin outreach. Well, okay, then thinking about what is the taker of this course going to need in order to successfully reach out to individuals in their network. So then what we did is we created this influencer outreach document. And, there are different approaches that you can take when you're reaching out. There's more of one that's rooted in cause versus one that's more rooted in your specific goals that can be pretty direct. But then I thought, gosh, it's more powerful if you can reach out in a video. So then I had to give them some video recording tips, because you're trying to think through what are all the different types of individuals that are going to be taking your course. And you have to also be thinking about what are the fears that they're going to have? What are the objections that they're going to have? And how can I help them overcome those fears and objections and obstacles in my course material so that I have a better chance of them actually getting it done and executing on it? So then I actually gave them some sample emails. They can watch different videos and build their confidence. That's another key to creating a course, is how are you building confidence in the person that's taking the course along the way? Then, as you'll see, we kind of went into step 3, and I was trying to even show color to really call out attention to something. So for example, in step 3, when an author gets to hand off the rest of this communication over to the VA, this is a big moment for an author because authors are very overwhelmed. They have a lot of different things on their plate. They're overcoming a lot of fears as they're launching their book. So just when I can call out in a different color, this is your handoff to the VA, I could imagine it instantly reducing stress for the person that is watching this program. And that's something else that you want to be thinking of as you're building confidence, and you need to be reducing their overwhelm and stress. So you can even do that visually in the way that you format a document, the way you're color coding, etc. You'll see then I was trying to also think of how to set the VA up for success. Now, a virtual assistant has a very different mindset and skill set from an author. So what a VA is going to need is structure, organization, templates. So what we ended up doing is we created several different email templates for the VA to use as they manage communication with the author's network, all the way down. From there, they go into step 4, which is managing fulfillment. And you'll see I'm clearly marking what the VA is responsible for versus what the author is responsible for. You know, as an author is getting support from their network for the book launch, one of the things that the network is going to sign up for is, I want to order bulk copies of your book or invite you in for speaking. Now, this is a sales opportunity for the author. So then, while making this course, I thought, how can I set the author up for success in a sales call? Because not all authors are great at sales. They're great at writing, but when it comes to an environment where they have to then sell themselves, that is incredibly difficult for a lot of authors. Now, I didn't have to include that in my course, but I'm somebody who likes to over deliver and really think through, how can I make sure that the author is set up for total success in my course? And therefore, I had to go beyond my specialty of launching books and start leaning into my specialty for sales. So I created this sales fulfillment step-by-step guide to really build up my author's confidence in having those conversations. Again, how are you approaching the call? What data and information do you need in your brain before you get into the conversation? What's the sales call agenda need to be? How are you sharing all of the ways in which that influencer can hire you or buy from you? And then how do we prioritize that so we know what to offer first, second, or third? What are all of the different options? What are things that I need to remember no matter what happens on that call? How do I end the call? So again, are you setting your people up for total success in taking your course? Finally, I moved into step 5, which is communication for the VA. And then I even started thinking, I wasn't originally going to put this in the course, but I thought, what needs to happen after they finish this entire operation? So now you're even going beyond the reason that they bought your course to begin with. And I started thinking about different ways that a VA can engage in an author's influencer network on social media to keep that relationship alive, so that again, we didn't just reach out when we needed something, we actually are interested in building a relationship long-term. And then I had some keys to success for overall execution of this program and beyond. Anyway, I just I thought it would be a fun thing to share with our community, as I just spent probably 6 hours building all of these assets and materials, and weeks before that kind of engaging in different discussions with the team and getting their support and input to ultimately come up with this one document, the one graphic, all of the supporting templates, spreadsheets, and assets. Now we can bundle everything up. And I will end up putting the video content on Vimeo Pro, because I really like the way that video player looks. We are going to insert the videos and spreadsheets and Google Docs and emails into a password protected membership portal. And then from there, we can give our existing clients automatic access as a thank you for choosing us. We always do that. Anytime we create a new asset, all of our clients get it. So it's kind of one of the values of working with us long-term. And that's just included in whatever they signed up for. So it's not like a membership fee or anything like that. It's just sharing some inside info. I always like surprising and delighting customers. You know, they weren't expecting 6 months later to hear from us, hey, we just added this new asset if you find it helpful moving forward. And they're like, what? But anyway, so we're also going to end up building out a sales page and then attaching a payment gateway to it. I don't know yet what we're going to offer this program for. I mean, it's incredibly valuable for what it can do for building a sustainable and profitable brand. But I also have always priced things in a way that allows people to actually access the content. So I care more about impacting change and shaping my industry and helping authors to succeed than I do about making a quick buck. So we'll see where we end up price wise. We're probably a month out from that decision anyway, because the first thing I need to do is make sure my clients are set up for success. It's going to take time to build the sales page content and set up the payment gateway and the email systems and how that's going to lead people into a back-end membership portal. But once it's set up, you can just continue marketing to it. We use my program Leverage to Scale as a way of driving traffic into these various products and programs and services that we offer. It works just like a charm. Between that and word of mouth, that's all we've ever needed in terms of marketing. And the rest will be history, I guess. So hopefully you watching found some value in that. Maybe you've created your own courses or have yet to embark on a course. If you are a service provider, I'd be thinking, is there a piece of what I do that I could turn into a course like this? I mean, this was an operation we built for our service clients. And now over time, I started to think, wow, this could really help anybody, even somebody who's not launching a book. So that's what we're working on over here at NGNG. If you thought this video was valuable, I wish you would subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get notified when future videos like this become available. Also, head on over to ngngenterprises.com, stands for No Guts, No Glory, and you can download our pricing menu for free. You can get access to our portfolio, get to know the team a little bit. Check me out on Instagram. I'm putting regular videos there as well. And until the next video, I just want you to remember, no guts, no glory. Thanks a lot.